This recording goes all right. Just in case, I did do a save game, a backup of my game. The interesting part is I'm actually pulling this from a backup that I had done in my survival game and stuff. Part of the reason we're going into my survival game for this little video is on the forums. I had seen someone posting that the shrine was too hard for a starter planet. Now, when I first saw the shrine and first encountered it, I might have said, that looks like it's going to be pretty hard. Especially, some of the threat I was getting off of it. And, but when I read the post on the forum, at that point, I had actually taken on the shrine for the first time. I'd kind of been avoiding it, thinking, oh, that's a little tough for a starter planet. But I hadn't gone against it. I just kind of been keeping my distance because it seemed to be giving off, a real good threat, hovering up there. And at least as long as the shrine I'm talking about and the shrine they were talking about in the forums were the same thing, it was a floating point of interest. So, but the thing is, the point I had read it in the forums, I had actually already taken on the shrine. And coincidentally, I had taken it on with one of my starter SVs. Now I have on the workshop, I think, 4 small vessels that are built with just iron, copper, and silicon. That's all they're built with for the materials in the game. Those are the materials you can fight on the starting planet in resource deposits. I didn't rely on loot or anything for the basics of these starter S vessels or starter small vessels. So we're going to go down and see, because this is the backup of the game that I had been playing on where I hit the shrine. I loaded the backup just to see if I still had the shrine here. And so we have here the Red Hawker, and it looks like I hadn't finished piecing it back together from my last bit. Now in my survival game where I am currently, I now have upgraded that repair bay to a tier 2 so I can do a repair to blueprint, but at the moment I cannot. So if I'm going to, let's see if I might have a block to, yeah, no, we're going to replace that block. Might as well go with the vessel intact. Let's see. Storage, I am looking for, I've taken apart some point of interest. I've already hit several. Not all of them above ground. I thought I had some of the small basic steel blocks. Just the basic steel, not hardened. That's what the Red Hawker, which is actually my most expensive starting vessel. But again, it's still only built with iron, copper, and silicon. So if I just grab this, patch it back up, I think that's the only piece missing. I think the rest of it's in decent shape. Oh wait, there's a piece missing down there. Let's fill that in. I might check underneath or something. I don't know. I'm not going to get too carried away with it. Just a little bit to make sure that, as it gets, because it's going to take damage in this battle. And so I figured might as well make sure that the blocks are at least there, so we're not starting with something that's pre-wrecked. As you can see, most of the damage I've been taking there has just mostly been on the front end in my battles when I've used this. Usually losing the 2 front thrusters and the spotlights and a few blocks surrounding there. But all in all, the Hawker still flies fine without those bits. It's not a significant loss. Okay. I'm not sure why I needed to go back up there unless I need to really restock this with fuel or munitions. I think we got plenty of munitions for what I'm going to deal with. plenty of fuel. I might even be carrying some on me. Let's go ahead and let's grab some more ammunition just to be sure. But I think that's what it's currently carrying is way more than enough. But just to be sure. So now the Hawker is only equipped with the Gatling guns, because once you move beyond that, then you start using cobalt and other resources. Looks like I didn't replace one of the modular wing blocks, but I'm not going to worry about that. I had added to the Hawker's mount points so that later in the game, as I unlock resources and other weapon types, I could add on the rocket launchers and other advanced weapons. But in this case, we're just taking with its base, well, other than some damage, its base configuration. So it is still a starter vessel. I'm not throwing in there with extras. So let's go ahead and let's get in. We'll fill up the extra munitions there. Power this thing on. And just for a quick review here, for those who might be able to have the video at a point where they can actually read this, as you can see, only iron, copper, and silicon, just those 3 items. 2-hour and 38-minute production time. This is not a cheap small vessel. But this is still built with only the starting materials. So I have the shrine marked over there. Let's lift off. Now I happen to have the night vision goggles, so that's probably going to help me a little bit here. Seeing as how I am going away from the sunrise. That was probably my thrusters. I know some people talk about dodging these things here. Well, my problem isn't, well, one, probably my skill at dodging, but also the fact that I am not very good at keeping my weapons on target while moving. So Now, when I first hit the shrine here with the hawker, I had no idea what to expect, so I had destroyed. Let's go back, do what I did before. I destroyed a door. Found a door, destroyed it. Came on down. And I took a drone and checked it out. Spotting some of the spawners. And this place looked of interest to me. It just... that screamed as potential core. Not a sure thing. Yeah. Of course, the fact that they don't the sentry guns might shoot at my drones, but these other things typically, currently as the game is, do not. So, but it's one of those things. I had actually been down further, and they had started shooting at me when I first did this. So it ended up that I had an issue that way, and there is a minigun drone over here, just begging. Okay, so I had spotted an upper layer. Was it through here? Now that, like before, was the... oh. That's what I noticed before, and I don't know, maybe I hit it from the same spot again, punching through. But having seen that there was another floor up here, I was like, oh yeah. I figured I would go from the top, go down. And so I was like, well, if I make my entry point here, then I happen to, like, right, there's the core. Basically, at this point, when I was assaulting the shrine, like, now that I've deactivated the shrine, I have taken out the core. I have taken out my opponent here on the alien on the top level. I then basically stripped off the top here, stripped out this floor, which gave me an angle with my SV to come up above, shoot the drones going around on the next floor. Basically, then cleared out that floor, cleared the drones, and that's how I dealt with the alien threat. It was a combination of multi-tool clearing out a level, going on down. Now notice, I may have made that look like, not that bad. I can see, let's take a quick peek. Notice there are 4 plasma turrets underneath here. I never dealt with them. I came from above, took out the laser turrets, parked up above, found the core, took out the core, and then proceeded to dismantle the base. And this is part of the reason why I'm doing this in a backup saved game that I had, is because the shrine is essentially no more in my game. Let's go here. I think Hawkers are just dang big small vessels. So I think I might have got it. Let's take a quick peek at how bad we are. Okay, as I said, those are probably the thrusters. I lost both my thrusters in the front, my spotlights, and a few blocks. All in all, I don't think that's bad. Whoa! Oh, this is what I was afraid of doing in the... Good thing this is just a backup of my survival game. I did not actually do that in survival here. But I was so afraid of doing that. I was so afraid of doing that. Like, my small vessel is way up there. There's even a screenshot when I was finally finishing up the shrine where I'm standing on my small vessel using my drone. I navigated my drone around so you could see myself standing on my small vessel. I was using my drone to with the multi-tool to take off the last few blocks floating up there. I was so afraid of doing this. And here I did it. Okay. I think I'm done laughing at myself. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Okay, that was great. Didn't take as much damage as I feared, but I remembered to turn on my jump jets in my pack at the last minute. Okay, I'm gonna cut my recording there.